Hello, I'm Stewart Bloor and I'm on the gravel pit that I fished 2 weeks ago. The weather's been quite difficult in the meantime, and so in that 2 weeks the water temperature has only marginally gone up, but it's 10 degrees Celsius on arrival, and so double figures, that's got to be a confidence booster, hasn't it? First thing I've done, just arrived at the water's edge and started to make up some balls of ground bait and sweet corn. That's all it is, just very simple. Brown crumb as the carrier and sweet corn that I'm putting out about 40 yards, and I'm here for 2 nights, and hopefully, as I so often say for the camera, I'll catch some fish. It's a wonderful day. I think the temperature will rise a little bit during the time that I'm here. Right, I've got the bait mixed up into balls, ready to catapult out. Next thing is, put the marker float out. So there it is, just a simple float, heavy lead there, cast out, let the lead settle, and then let the float rise to the surface. So you know exactly where you're casting to. It's big water, a lot of acres, and sometimes distances can be deceptive, but having that float in the water in the place where I want it, I know that my bait is going out there in exactly the right spot each time. It's 2:30 and I've just cast out, probably all the Canada geese there in the background. What do people do when they bivvy up? Well, there's a lot of stereotypical stuff written about bivvy boys. If you believe a lot of it, then all that we do in our bivvies is take drugs and get drunk. Well, I don't drink alcohol. I do drink, I don't drink alcohol. And I've made me a cup of tea, and I certainly don't do drugs. But what I'm going to do over the next couple of days, apart from catch fish of course, is read a book. The famous 5. 5 go off to camp, a bit like me at the moment. Now baited up and cast out again for the night. I've had a lazy afternoon reading and dozing off in the sunshine. Managed to capture those oyster catchers though on film. I was pleased to do that because we're in the Midlands, as far as you can imagine from the sea. So to get 6 of them in flight, noisy birds of course, and then to capture one on one of the islands, I was well pleased with that. There are oyster catchers on this gravel pit resident, well certainly the times I fish anyway. They're here every year and they have bred as well in the past, but 6, that's the most that I've seen at one time. Plenty of butterflies around today. Saw my first peacock butterfly of the year. Hopefully I'll be able to capture a lot more nature things tomorrow. I wish I had smell-o-vision on this camcorder. I've just knocked over a tub of Scopex boilie dip in my bivvy. Mind you, one thing I will say, it smells nice. Mr. Clumsy strikes again. This is a colt's foot. It's one of the earliest members of the daisy family to come into bloom. As you can see, there's one flower head well out and there's another on its way. They do usually come out from February, but the harsh winter we've had means that they've come up much later this year. There's a clump of common field speedwell in the hedgerow behind where I'm fishing. These are lovely, beautiful flowers. This particular species was only introduced into Europe in the early 19th century, and it's well colonised now, right across Britain as well. My second session, night one. Cold day today, northeasterly blowing in, but I'm into a fish. I don't know what the time is yet. I just had a screaming run and I just got straight onto the rod and struck. Bringing the fish in, I'm fishing at about 40 yards. I think he's got over the other rod there. Just netted the fish. I'll have to move to the other side of the swim. No tangling of the lines or anything, so that was good. It's the last thing you want in the night, isn't it? Right, let's get it out of the net and we'll see how big it is. Looks quite good. Now I've got the fish on the hooking mat. Just taken the hook out. Let me hold it up for the camera. There we go. Big tench, isn't it? Beautiful fish. I'll just pull back a little bit, get a bit of an idea there. I'm going to get a proper photograph of it. There's the fish in the net at the side of the swim. It's ready to go back now. It's rested. As you can see, it's starting to move. 1:45 when I caught it. Don't mind getting woken up for something like that. Into my second fish on the same rod as well. Feels like another decent one. That was a 4:15 AM fish. I'll give you an idea of how cold it is. As I lifted the landing net up to net the fish, it was stuck to the unhooking mat. I hadn't realised, because as soon as I got the take, I was out the bivvy onto the rod. I hadn't realised there's actually a slight overnight frost. So this harsh winter that we've just come through, it's still hanging on in there, isn't it? But I'm happy to catch the fish.